What are your thoughts on the extension? I think it's a good like the first word that came to my mind when I saw it, like fair contract for both sides. I don't think like I think Ryan Donato could have gone to free agency and gotten some more, but it sounded like the thing that was holding them up was the extra year. It sounded like they originally offered Ryan Donato 4 million per over 3 years, and they got it done with the 4 times 4. So yeah, what was your thought on the contract?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little touch and go there for a little bit. It sounds like they were really pushing to not give him that fourth year, which at the end of the day, I think you and I had this discussion multiple times. They have so much cap space that fourth year isn't really going to affect them. Um, Obviously, yeah, they're going to have to start signing their kids at that point, but I don't think, as of right now, unless something crazy happens, there's probably only like two or three of those guys that are actually going to get paid. The rest are probably bridges, if I had to assume. But I think it's a great deal. For Donato, he finally gets protection, or not protection, but term, which he hasn't had ever in his career. I think people forget this guy's played for 5 NHL teams. He's been around the block a couple times, and he got a 2-year deal with us, and he gets his pay doubled and his term doubled. So, well-deserved extension. I think this helps out the Hawks immensely because I think you and I were both starting to worry if he doesn't get re-signed. That's a pretty big hole in the middle six. I don't think either of us are expecting him to drop 30 again next year, but if he's like a 2020 guy going forward, you need that in your lineup. Plus, he plays hard. He plays every game. Can play in all situations. I think one of the reasons I like this deal the most is because even if he's making $4 million, he's probably one of the most efficient fourth liners you can have once this team's really ready to rock and roll. But for the meantime, I mean, he was the most common line mate with Bedard last year. He's had the most success with Bedard out of anyone on the roster, I'd like to reckon, besides maybe Nazar and Bertuzzi. But even then, the numbers speak for themselves when Bedard and Donato get put together. I think they glued them together the last like 15 games of the year for a reason. And I think it's a great move. It's a guy who wants to be here. I think you and I discussed last night. I think he should have an A once the last wave of leaders leaves, because I got a feeling the guys like Foligno, the Murphys, the Dickinsons are probably getting traded off at the deadline this year. Salary retention is going to be tough on a couple of those, but I have to imagine at least Murphy's going to get moved this year. He deserves to go play some playoff hockey, but it's a great ad for the middle six going forward. And, it's one less roster spot you have to figure out. And, you gotta keep someone around. And it's a little different than when they kept Athanasiou around, or like when they kept Dickinson around, or Mrazek. This is a guy who had 30 goals, 30 assists, 60 points last year. He clearly has the edge. Yeah, he shot 17% last year, but even if he shoots 12% this year, that's still probably a 20 or 22 goal pace, roughly, maybe 20. And you need that. You need that. I'm a firm believer in you need at least 5 or 6 guys that can put up 20 goals to make the playoffs. And if you don't have that, you need to have the depth of at least 9 to 10 guys that can put up 12 to 15. And Donato fits that bill every time. And if you look at his resume, his 2 of his best years in the league were here. So I think it's a match made in heaven, honestly. And that's a big name off the market with the extensions that are going around right now.
Yeah, especially if you're looking around at the Oilers with Trent Frederic. If they do go through with that deal, which LOL Edmonton, we're going to get into that later. But yeah, he's 29 now. 4 years, that's going to take him till he's 33. I don't expect him to go 30, 31, 31 next year. It's crazy that he got scratched 2 games. Like, but he still ended up with 62 points in 80 games. Yeah, he's not going to hit 30 again. I even think if he hits 20, like, that's gravy. I expect him to be more to his career average. Like, the year before that, the first year he played in Chicago, 12 goals in 78 games. He had 14 goals in 71 games the year before that in Seattle, then 16 goals in 74 games in his first year in Seattle. Like, I'm thinking we get more of that, like 15 goals. And if you get any more than that, like, again, that's gravy on top. And it really is a match made in heaven, like you said. Like, I think both sides needed to work this out, because at the deadline, I was thinking, oh, maybe Ryan Donato could fetch a first-round pick, because to me, in my eyes, like, he has the versatility to play up and down your lineup and play in any situation and score all these goals. Like, you look at his even strength goals across the NHL, he's up there with some elite companies, some of the best in the NHL, and it never
he had more than
like
McDavid and Crosby this year, just for
record. I mean, that's all you
McKinnon.
need to know right there. I think he had more than Matthews as well.
Yep. He was 19th in the league in 5-on-5 goals.
Crazy. But it never seemed like there was much of a market for him. There might have been, but not that big market. And honestly, it kind of felt like the same going to free agency. So it felt like both sides did need to get this done, and they got it done, and I'm glad they did. Because my big thing with this team, and it has been going back the last couple of years, who's going to score the goals on this team? Even with signing Donato back, you're losing like generously. You're probably losing 10 goals. And again, we're going to get into it later, but they need to sign a guy or two or make a trade for someone else because this, like, you need more offensive support. Yeah, I get Donato played very well with Connor Bedard and was his most common line mate last year, but I just, again, we can't go into a season with Donato and Mikheyev as Connor Bedard's wingers. We got to do better than that. But for an off season where we're kind of nervous about, and that's putting it nicely, I think we're generally more on the pessimistic side. I think this is a great piece of business to get things going. And again, with just the other moves happening, it's like, well, I'm glad I made that move instead of giving a Trent Frederick 8 years till I think he's 35 years old for pretty much the same amount of money. So yeah, tidy piece of business, honestly.
Good start to the offseason.
Yeah, well, we gotta now, like, pretty much a week until the draft and then a week and a half till free agency. It's all going to fly by quickly and everyone's going to go to their colleges, and it's already kind of silly season here. We just saw that the Dallas Stars re-signed Matt Duchene 4 years, $4.5 million, which of course.
Granlund season.
Yeah. Hey, no, Jason Robertson season. Woo! No, it's not happening.